Every night at exactly 11 p.m., he lights the cigarette. Not because he craves the nicotine, not because the day has been long or the stress unbearable. He lights it because the clock demands it, because the ritual has fused with the pulse in his veins, because the smoke curling upward is no longer a choice. It is a verdict. You know this man. You have seen him in the mirror. You have felt the invisible tether yank your thumb toward the screen at 2 a.m., heard the fridge door whisper your name long after dinner, watched the same episode autoplay for the third time while tomorrow's promises rot on the table. These are not weaknesses. These are systems, ancient, invisible, and ruthlessly efficient, designed to keep you exactly where you are. The cigarette, the scroll, the sugar, the binge, they are not your failures. They are someone else's triumph. Consider the numbers. 43% of daily actions occur in almost the same context every time. 43%. Nearly half your life is not lived but executed, a script written in neural ink long before you ever agreed to the terms. And the authors, they are legion. Advertisers who studied your dopamine loops before you studied algebra. Algorithms that predict your next click with 97% accuracy. Ancestral survival circuits that once kept cavemen alive, but now keep you reaching for the third beer. This is not a self-help video. This is an autopsy of control. Buried beneath the neon of Tokyo, forged in the silence of Kyoto temples and the sweat of Osaka factories, lie 5 Japanese systems that do not ask you to fight the habit. They ask you to outmaneuver it, to shrink it, starve it, forgive it, redirect it, and finally forget it. Kaizen, Ikigai, Wabe Sabe, Harahachibu, Shikata Gonai. These are not buzzwords for productivity gurus. They are contraband, smuggled out of samurai discipline, corporate war rooms, and centenarian villages where people live so long they forget how to die. They are the scalpel, the shadow, the mirror, the leash, and the surrender. But here is the question that should keep you awake tonight. What if the habit you are fighting is not yours at all? What if the cigarette, the screen, the craving is merely the puppet string, and the hand holding it belongs to a system far older and far smarter than you? Stay with me. The first cut is about to begin. If these shadows are already crawling under your skin, do not let them win tonight. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and stay for the entire dissection. You will not find another map this precise. Picture a factory floor in Nagoya, 1951. The war is over, the country is rubble, and American consultants stride in with clipboards and confidence, promising to teach Japan how to rebuild. They preach the gospel of bold strokes, tear down the old, pour concrete double output in a single quarter. The Japanese engineers listen, nod, then do something that looks like nothing at all. They tie a piece of red string around a single bolt on the assembly line. One bolt, one string. One question: can we turn it 1 degree faster without breaking the machine? That string is the first shot in a silent revolution. The Americans leave shaking their heads. The Japanese stay, turning the bolt 1 degree, then another, then another. 10 years later, Toyota is not merely rebuilt. It is rewriting the rules of global industry. The word they use for this sorcery is Kaizen, change for the better, 1 millimeter at a time. You have been sold the opposite myth your entire life. 30-day detoxes, cold turkey heroics, transformation montages set to swelling strings. These are fireworks, bright, loud, and gone by morning. Kaizen is erosion. It does not announce itself. It does not ask permission. It simply removes 1 grain of sand from the prison wall every day until the wall forgets it was ever there. Take the salaryman in Section 1, call him Hiroshi. 42 years old, 2 packs a day, lungs the color of printer toner. He does not quit. Quitting is for people who believe in grand gestures. Instead, on the first Monday of Kaizen, he smokes his usual 19 cigarettes but delays the first one by 60 seconds. 1 minute. That is all. On Tuesday, another 60 seconds. By day 30, the morning cigarette has drifted past noon and Hiroshi notices something obscene. He is bored of waiting. The ritual has become the habit, not the nicotine. By day 90, the pack is still half full, but the string around the bolt has tightened. By day 365, Hiroshi runs the Tokyo Marathon. His wife cries at the finish line. His son asks for the red string. This is not inspiration. This is mathematics. A 1% improvement compounded daily yields a 37-fold gain in 1 year. A 1% decline compounds into oblivion. The stock market understands this. Your nervous system does not until you teach it. But here is the darker truth, the one no productivity app will monetize. Kaizen terrifies the ego. The ego wants the dramatic collapse, the rock bottom epiphany, the before and after thumbnail. Slow change is invisible, therefore uncontrollable, therefore dangerous to any system that profits from your relapse. Every 30-day challenge is a slot machine disguised as salvation. Pull the lever, lose the weight, regain it with interest, pull again. The house always wins. Kaizen is the house that bets on you. Zeno knew this 2,000 years before Toyota. The Greek philosopher insisted you could never reach the door because you must first travel half the distance, then half of that, and so again, infinite regression. Habit relapse feels exactly like Zeno's paradox. You are always halfway to freedom, never arriving. Kaizen answers with a shrug. Arrival is irrelevant. The distance shrinks anyway. Now look at your phone. Every notification is engineered anti-Kaizen. It widens the gap by 1% in the wrong direction. More dopamine, more delay, more tomorrow. The algorithm is not lazy. It is precise. It knows that if it can keep you 1% more addicted today, you will be 37 times more enslaved in a year. Hiroshi's red string is still tied to the bolt in Nagoya. The factory is a museum now, but the string remains, faded yet unbroken. It is waiting for you to borrow it. 1 degree, 1 minute, 1 grain, the prison wall is listening. The sun rises at 4:17 a.m. over the Yanbaru forest in northern Okinawa, and an old woman named Akiko is already walking the dirt path to her garden. She is 97, bent like a question mark, yet her steps are deliberate. She does not garden for money. She does not garden for health. She gardens because the tomatoes need her, and she needs the tomatoes. This is Ikigai, the reason you rise when the body begs for sleep, the quiet contract between self and world that outlives passion, paycheck, and even memory. 4 circles on a napkin. 1. What you love. 2. What you are good at. 3. What the world needs. 4. What you can be paid for. Where all 4 overlap is Ikigai, the blue zone of meaning. Okinawa has more centenarians per capita than anywhere else on Earth, and every study points to the same invisible glue, Ikigai. No retirement homes, no midlife crises, no scrolling through obituaries wondering, was that all? But contracts have fine print. Akiko's neighbor, Taro, was a fisherman. Loved the sea, good at reading tides, fed the village, paid in silver scales, perfect overlap. Then the typhoon came. Nets shredded, boats splintered, village rebuilt with concrete. Taro kept rising at 4:17 a.m. Same path, same rhythm, but the sea no longer needed him. The circles drifted apart. He sat on the pier until the sun burned holes in his eyes. Purpose, once oxygen, became carbon monoxide. This is the shadow clause. Ikigai can calcify into obsession. The artist who forgets to eat because the canvas is hungry. The coder who forgets to blink because the bug is personal. The influencer who forgets to live because the algorithm is watching. Purpose is the most addictive substance on earth because it wears the mask of virtue. Nietzsche warned, he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. He never mentioned the overdose. Cut to Silicon Valley, 2024. The same 4 circles are now a Canva template in every accelerator pitch deck. Find your Ikigai, scale your Ikigai, monetize your Ikigai. Gig platforms sell purpose by the hour. Drive strangers, edit strangers, ghostwrite strangers' dreams. The overlap is engineered, not discovered. The world needs you only until the subscription lapses. Pause here, take out a pen. Draw the 4 circles right now. Be brutally honest. What do you love that no one will pay for? What are you good at that the world ignores? What does the world need that you cannot stand? What pays you that you secretly despise? If three circles touch but the fourth floats alone, congratulations, you are human. If all four overlap perfectly, check your pulse. You may already be a brand. Tarot never drew the circles, he simply adjusted. When the sea rejected him, he walked inland and began carving wooden boats for children. No pay, no skill, no need, just love. The circle shrank to a dot, but the dot was enough. At 92, he died mid-laugh, chisel in hand, surrounded by toy fleets. The village still tells the story, the man who found Ikigai in miniature. Akiko still gardens, the tomatoes still need her, but every harvest she leaves one fruit on the vine to rot. A reminder, purpose must be pruned or it strangles the gardener. Your turn, the circles are waiting. Draw them small enough to fit in your pocket, large enough to betray you. The habit you feed with meaning is listening. A tea bowl from the Joseon dynasty sits under glass in Kyoto's National Museum. 400 years old, hairline crack running from lip to base like a lightning strike frozen in clay. It is not a flaw. It is the reason the bowl sold for 7 figures. The crack is the signature. The Japanese call this wabi-sabi, beauty in the broken, the aged, the incomplete. Perfectionism is a vampire. It feeds on the fantasy of a final, flawless state. The perfect body, the perfect inbox, the perfect relationship, the perfect life. Every deviation is a wound. Every relapse is proof of unworthiness. The habit, binge eating, doom scrolling, rage quitting, is not the disease. It is the symptom of a mind addicted to an impossible mirror. Wabi-sabi smashes the mirror. Meet Yumi, 34, graphic designer in Shibuya. Deadlines are her drug. She will rework a logo until 4 a.m. because the curve of one letter is 0.3 millimeters off. Clients love the results. Her wrists do not. Carpal tunnel blooms. Sleep evaporates. The habit she fights is not procrastination. It is the compulsion to polish the apple until the tree dies. One Tuesday, her mentor hands her a cracked mug. Use this for coffee, every day. Do not replace it. The first sip tastes like failure. The second sip tastes like coffee. By day 30, the crack is no longer a defect. It is a river. The mug is no longer a vessel. It is a teacher. Wabi-sabi is not resignation. It is radical honesty. Nothing in nature is symmetrical. Mountains erode. Cherry blossoms fall at peak. The universe itself is 73% dark energy we cannot see or touch. Perfection is the original psyop, sold by marble statues and filtered selfies. The habit thrives in the gap between you and the statue. Close the gap and the habit starves. Heraclitus said you cannot step in the same river twice. The perfectionist tries anyway and drowns. Wabi-sabi steps in, gets wet, and keeps walking. Relapse is not betrayal. It is the river changing course. Yumi finishes the logo at 11 p.m. instead of 4 a.m. The curve is 0.3 millimeters off. The client calls it organic. Her wrist thanks her. The habit, endless revision, loses its hostage. Now the experiment. Today, intentionally break something small. A pencil, a plate, a promise to yourself that was always too heavy. Photograph the fracture. Caption it, "This is where the light gets in." Post it nowhere. Keep it in your pocket like a splinter of truth. The tea bowl in Kyoto is still cracked, still priceless, still drinking. Your perfectionist habit is listening to the sound of its own coffin being built, one deliberate flaw at a time. The camera lingers on 2 plates. On the left, an American all-you-can-eat buffet, mountains of fried chicken stacked like war memorials, syrup rivers, a child's face smeared with victory. On the right, a modest Okinawan table, rice, miso, bitter melon, fish the size of a postcard. The elders eat until the stomach signals 8 parts full, then stop. Hara hachai bu, eat to 80%. The phrase is Confucian, the practice is surgical. Gluttony is not hunger, it is amnesia. The first bite is survival. The 15th is habit wearing a bib. Hara hachai bu is a speed bump in the mouth. It forces memory, I have eaten. I am alive. The rest is theater. The habit of overeating or overdrinking, overbuying, over anything collapses when the theater loses its audience. But some habits cannot be starved. They must be outlived. Enter shikata ganai. It cannot be helped. Literally, there is no way of doing it. Colloquially, a shrug that carries the weight of typhoons and atomic ash. Kento is 41, Kyoto, sake in his blood since university. Cold turkey lasts 3 days, then the bottle sings louder. His sponsor tells him to quit fighting. Instead, every night at 9 p.m., Kento walks past the same izakaya. Same neon sign, same bartender waving. He does not enter, he bows, keeps walking. 1 year becomes 5, the bottle is still there. Kento is no longer thirsty. Shikata ganai is not surrender, it is aikido. Use the habit's momentum to throw it past you. Here is the synthesis. The moment the 5 systems braid into a single rope. Kaizen shrinks the craving by 1%. Ikigai gives the day a reason the craving cannot counterfeit. Wabi-sabi forgives the inevitable stumble. Hara Hachebu withholds the fuel. Shikata ganai removes the fight, and without a fight, the habit has no opponent to define itself against. Corporate wellness apps will try to sell you these as hacks. Do not buy. The moment a system is branded, it is neutered. Kaizen in a bullet journal is still Kaizen. Kaizen in a $99 course is a new habit dressed in samurai cosplay. Kenta still walks past the izakaya. The bartender retired. The neon flickers. Kenta's son now walks beside him, asking why Grandpa bows to a bar. Kenta smiles. Because some ghosts only leave when you stop arguing with them. The buffet plate is empty. The Okinawan table is cleared. 2 blades left on the table. 1 cuts consumption. 1 cuts resistance. Pick them up. The habit is already bleeding. The screen fractures into static, then resolves into a single manila folder stamped classified in red. Inside, 1 sheet of paper, no logo, no watermark. 30 lines numbered 130. This is the protocol, not a challenge, not a program, a conspiracy between you and the version of yourself who refuses to be collateral damage. Day 1 Kaizen audit. List every habit you resent in a notebook. Next to each, write the 1% smaller version. Doom scroll, open app close after 1 post. Late night snacking, pour glass of water first. Do only the 1%. Nothing more. The wall hears the first grain fall. Day 5, Ikigai Recon. Redraw your 4 circles at midnight. Burn the first draft. Redraw at dawn. Compare. The overlap that survives fire is the only one that matters. Day 10, Wabi-sabi right. Choose 1 object you have been meaning to fix: phone screen crack, chipped mug, unfinished manuscript. Use it exactly as is for 24 hours. Document the moment it stops feeling broken. Day 15, Hara Hachibu calibration. Every meal, stop when you can still name the taste of the last bite. Write the taste in the margin of day 15. Hunger is now data, not drama. Day 20, Shikata ganai pilgrimage. Identify the trigger you cannot eliminate: the bar, the X's street, the algorithm. Walk past it at the exact hour it owns you. Do not avert eyes, bow once. Keep walking. Repeat until the bow feels like punctuation, not penance. Day 25, synthesis stress test. Combine all 5 1% less phone, Ikigai aligned task, Wabi-sabi tool, 80% plate, Shikata ganai route. 1 day. If you survive, the habit is on parole. Day 30, amnesia ceremony. Return to the day 1 list. Cross out every habit that no longer fits in your mouth. Do not celebrate. Burn the page. Scatter the ashes in running water. The river does not keep receipts. Hiroshi from the factory floor stands at the finish line of the Tokyo Marathon. Red string now a wristband on his son's arm. The boy asks, "Dad, when do we stop?" Hiroshi answers, "When the habit forgets your name."
The protocol ends where it began. 11:11 p.m. The cigarette is unlit. The screen is dark. The fridge is silent. The wall is gone. not destroyed, forgotten. Black screen, white text, 10 seconds. The millimeter was always yours. The conspiracy is over. The escape is permanent. Fade to silence. Ambient shamisen fades in, slow, minor key, like wind through bamboo. You have reached the end. Or perhaps the beginning. Written and narrated by, your name. Research, Okinawa Centenarian Study, Toyota Production Archives, Kyoto National Museum. Sound design, Rain on Tokyo Alleys, Factory Bolts, Cracked Porcelain. No sponsors, no merch, no course. For Hiroshi, Akiko, Yumi, Kenta, and the ghosts who bowed back. Screen holds on black for 3 beats. Single frame flash. A QR code, no explanation. Scan it. Or don't. The sixth system was never meant for daylight. It lives in the space between the bow and the bar. Between the 80% bite and the silence after. Some doors only open when you stop knocking. Shamisen note resolves into nothing. The chains are still there. But now you hold the file. Start tonight. 1 millimeter, 1 breath, 1 crack. The habit is already forgetting your name. If this cut deep, share it with the one person still trapped. Then disappear into your own conspiracy.